Hello YouTube, my name is Justin. It's Getting Healthy on Good Food. You can see the link down below to my Instagram as well as the subscribe button because trust me, you're going to want to subscribe to this hot mess. So since this is my very first YouTube video of all time, I thought I would tell you a little bit about myself to start before we get into what I'm hoping this channel actually becomes. So who am I? I used to weigh close to 400 pounds. This used to be one of my shirts, if I can unfold all of it. Probably should have prepped that before I made this video, right? But I have kept some of my old clothes because if you've gone through some kind of dramatic weight loss and change, it's nice sometimes to have a reminder of how far you've come, so that way on the days that you're just not feeling it, you can put on that old shirt and you can see, ooh, this actually used to fit. Honestly, this shirt, I had to give it up for a while because it got too tight even. So overall, I have lost over 22 inches of belly and a little over 175 pounds. So I have pictures of this. I'll put it out. It's on my YouTube or my Instagram. If you check it out, you'll see some of the side-by-sides. But so that's who I am. My story really starts out in high school. I worked in fast food, and I'd always been kind of like a chubby, husky, overweight, whatever kind of name you want to throw at me. But I was always a bigger kid. In high school, I worked in fast food. One of the perks was that you got to get free food sometimes, or you got half off if you went like off your shift. Well, I put on a lot of weight. By the time I graduated high school, I was in the obese or overweight category. Skip into college when I got to make my own food choices for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack, right? I ate way too much. The food that I was eating was not a very good choice for me. By the time I was 26, I was at about 350 pounds. By the time I was 30, I was over 375, and that's when I stopped weighing myself because I didn't want to look at that number on the scale anymore. So I went from a 5XL, which is that shirt, big and tall, down to a large or a medium, depending on the brand. So it's a little bit about me. Now, why did I lose weight and how did I lose weight? So a couple of years ago, 4 to be exact, my son was born. Looking at him down in that hospital crib, I realized that I could not be the father that I wanted to be for him. I could barely get off the couch. I couldn't get on the floor and get up without like breaking into a full-on sweat or wheezing for the next hour. Difficult to put on my shoes, socks, you name it. It was a struggle. So seeing him, I realized I had to make a change in my life. Tried some different diets. It was all secret because I don't want people to know I was actually dieting, right? Because if you fail when you're dieting, then people are going to be like, oh, honey, you got this next time, right? I didn't want that. So I tried dieting on my own. None of it worked. Tried doing like the crash diet. That didn't work. Fasting, no, none of it worked, right? So I just kept gaining more and more weight. I had a friend, colleague, who told me about the app Lose It, which is free, so I'm not trying to sell you anything here. But they told me about the app Lose It. Initially I scoffed and said, I'm not gonna do that, but then I like quickly downloaded it. Really all I did was I tracked what I was eating. So I needed to see, like for me this worked. It doesn't work for everybody, but for me it worked to see my day in terms of food. What were the different food choices I was making? My breakfast, I would look and be like, I've already eaten 2,000 calories and it's just breakfast. So looking at that helped me to see what I was doing throughout the day. It helped me be aware and conscious of what I was putting into my mouth as well as what I was doing with my body in terms of movement. At over 375 pounds, fitness didn't happen yet. So it was primarily just with changing my food choices. I ate way too much food. It was about 5,000 to 7,000 calories a day, and I wasn't doing an active lifestyle that met that amount of calorie. Most of the food that I ate was really, really high in fat, really, really high in sugar, really, really high in sodium, and it was a lot of the like pre-processed, a frozen pizza that I would add extra cheese on top of. So the food I was eating was way too much, and I wasn't moving nearly enough. As I started tracking my food, I started limiting some of those calories, not a lot at first, When I first entered in all of my stats and to lose it said I want to lose 2 pounds per week on average, which is the recommended amount of weight loss in terms of sustainability. I was at about 3,400 calories to start, which is very reasonable. And then as I lost weight and entered in that weight into the app, the calorie amount went down gradually. So it wasn't anything like a crash diet. I didn't feel that I was missing out on anything. I got to make food choices throughout the way, that if I really wanted a piece of cake, I could have a piece of cake. If I wanted pizza, I could have pizza. So that worked for me. When I went down to about 300 pounds, it's kind of weird that I just touched my face, isn't it? I was so professional until right then. So when I got down to about 300 pounds, I started adding in some more fitness. I got a recumbent bike from my basement, started riding like at first 15, 20 minutes at most, and then slowly amped that up into like a full TV show and watched that. Now I could do like a whole movie, which is pretty exciting. Or I get outside when it's nice out and not winter. So that's a little bit about who I am. I will probably tell you a lot more about my background in other videos. But the point of this channel and the hope that I'm getting out of this is I want to help people to understand food. Because really, weight loss and your healthy life begins here in the kitchen. Hence, the start of the video is in the kitchen. Why am I dressed like this? Because I just got done with work, and this is how I dress for work. Plus, we're gonna keep it kind of classy in the kitchen for most of the time, because most of the videos I'm probably gonna make right after work when I'm cooking. So I am by no means an expert. I'm not a classically trained chef. I have no business really talking about nutrition. But what I want to talk about is what I learned throughout my weight loss and what I've learned in terms of cooking. What are some of those like basic skills that people should know if you want to start cooking food at home? I think for a lot of people that you're not doing some of that cooking because you don't understand some of those basics, like, you know, how to make marinara, how to make a cream sauce, how to cut an onion quickly. So if you're not doing those things, you're going to be immediately put off from cooking, or you're going to think that it takes way, way too long to cook to make a home cooked meal. There we go. But I'll tell you this, I'm a dad, I got a 4-year-old, I got a 5-month-old, I don't have a lot of time to make the food. So I get home, I have 1 hour, 1 hour to prep the food, make the food. I plate and take pictures for my Instagram, which again, you need to check out. It's down there in the link somewhere. I don't really know how this whole YouTube thing works yet. But I have 1 hour to do all of that. So most of the food that I'm making is not going to be intense or labor, like a huge process to make it. It's like about 1 hour or less. A lot of the food that I make even is about like 30 minutes. So there's nothing that I'm trying to sell you here. I have no like strategy of saying do this and you'll lose weight, but I do guarantee you this, that as you start to understand food more and as you understand your food choices more, a lot about you is going to change. And weight loss, hopefully, if that is your goal, is going to be one of the things, because for me, this is what changed it, was cooking better food at home. I've always been a cook, I've always loved cooking, but the food I did make was, like I said, high in fat, high in sugar, high in sodium, and the quantity of it was way, way, way too much. So that's kind of where I'm headed with this YouTube channel. Mostly I just want to share my love of cooking with people. Hopefully you learn some things along the way. You learn a little bit about me. I will talk about food. I'll talk about some of the nutrition things that I have learned, some of the different tips, tricks, and strategies for weight loss that I have now been able to maintain my weight loss because of, and I don't know, probably just some like random stuff that pops up. So please be gentle. This is my first YouTube video ever. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I have some friends that said I should make a YouTube channel, so here we are, and now we have the YouTube. So if you like this, please subscribe down below. I will try to post regularly, and I will keep the videos, I promise, short. This is probably one of the longer ones that I'll do, but most of the videos I want to show you are just some of the basic skills. What are some of the meals? I will show you maybe a couple of longer ones as well. I that's it. So subscribe down below. I'm super excited. My name is Justin at gettinghealthy_on_good food. Have a good night. Have a good day.